Hey, welcome to the Parade Deck. I'm Andrew, your host tonight. We have an amazing guest, Cassius Cuvée, who's an investor, and he's going to teach us how to make money in crypto. So stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to the Parade Deck. Tonight, we have an amazing guest on the Parade Deck tonight, Cassius Cuvée. He is an investor, he's an entertainer, he's an artist, he's a Web 3.0 consultant, and he is going to share with us some amazing knowledge and guidance on everything crypto and NFT. So if you've got questions, put them in the comments. But now let's introduce Cassius Cuvée to the Parade Deck. Thank you, Cassius, for joining us.
What's poppin'? Thanks for having me on.
Hey, you bet. I'm glad you're here. First of all, you're dynamic, you're inspiring. I saw you on CNBC, and I'm like, I have to have him on the Parade Deck. And since I've known you, I've got a crypto wallet. I created an NFT, and I am not into any of that, but I watched one of your tutorials, and I was able to do it. So tonight, I want you to share your wisdom, your guidance, your experience with our audience on how they can maybe take some baby steps or even some bigger steps to make some money, get some investments, get involved in what we're going to say is the future. So, hey, welcome again.
Thanks so much for having me on. And I really appreciate you giving me an opportunity to speak to an audience that I may not have otherwise got to speak to. And I just want to start out by saying Web 3.0 is basically decentralized finance, which is an alternative to normal finance, traditional finance. Centralized finance, like a central bank. This is decentralized finance, and DeFi is for everyone. And I know I've got the orange braids, and people who know me know I'm very animated. But when it comes to investing, I'm about my money. It's strictly business. So thank you for having me on.
You bet. And that's what I like about it. I'm going to say you're different. You wouldn't be my normal guest. I'd be asking my guests, what rank are you? Where did you serve? Where were you deployed? And so I think those questions are going to be a little bit different with you. And like, where are you deployed in the metaverse? Because, hey, who knows, Cassius, we might be fighting, our next war, I guess, or conflict in the metaverse. And it's just kind of interesting to even just think about, especially now with everything going on in the world around us. And so, but I want to thank you again for being on. So let's start with how you went from being an artist, dropping your music. I know you've got an amazing single called I Know that talks about the carbon footprint that goes into making Bitcoins. And I'm talking a little bit above my pay grade, which is the military term. But explain to us how you went from artist to, really a finance genius, in my opinion.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So yes, I've been a recording artist for many years. I just dropped a project right before the pandemic hit. And then we all went on lockdown. And of course, the stock market crashed, right? Now, I'd already been an investor. I'd invested in real estate before and stuff, but I had never really gotten my hands on trading or learned about finance. And I wish I had sooner, because I'm telling you, I got a crash course. We're sitting at home and I learned everything I possibly could, like a sponge. The brain was absorbing everything. And, I learned about trading stocks. I didn't know about crypto yet, but I learned about trading stocks, options, and, macro environments, bond rates, all these things, how they, figure in when the Fed controls the interest rates, what that did to the stock market. And, what first happened was my first piece of new music since that time period. I made a song called SPAC Dream. I won't go into too much detail, but a SPAC stands for a Special Purpose Acquisition Corporation. And it is a type of stock in the stock market where companies can bring companies public by doing a reverse merger with it, as opposed to an IPO or direct listing. And at the time, SPACs were popping really big after they'd make an announcement. And it was a great trade and investment long term. I made this song called SPAC Dream, released it on a Friday. I made a music video for it. I released it on a Friday. And then by Monday morning, Jim Cramer and David Faber, Carl Quintanilla had me on CNBC showing my music video. I was like, whoa. But in my music, though, I like to educate folks about, my songs have a purpose. Okay.
Right.
And, what I was doing at the time is trading. So it was about stocks. The more recent song that you just mentioned, I Know, is representative of a hope for a carbon negative future. A lot of people know that Bitcoin mining uses a lot of energy. It doesn't
Mhm.
use as much as they try to act like it's really 99.99% of the energy consumption on Earth does not come from Bitcoin mining. But
Right.
that is one of the things that people are concerned with. So there is a Carbon Negative is the name of a Bitcoin futures ETF that's traded on the Canadian Stock Exchange. And they approached me about making a song that kind of represented that. And so that was what my inspiration for that song was. And so it's a banger. They played it on CNBC. So shout out to everybody over there in CNBC, Melissa Lee, Guy Dami, and the whole crew. But that was the positive message in that song.
Mhm.
But on my show, Poppin Crypto with Cassius Cuvée, I always bring on somebody who's like doing something innovative in the Web 3.0 space, a
Mhm.
founder or CEO, and then I write a custom song for them about their project. So
Right.
my music has a purpose that usually is about either finding a way to invest, but we're going to have some fun with it at the same time because, there's a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah, and I love watching your show because it teaches me because I'm always looking, as the creator of PradeDeck.com, I'm always looking for like how do I increase my technology? How do I take, Prade Deck into Web 3.0? And so I'm watching shows like yours and Bloomberg Technology
Mhm.
and Jim Cramer, because I'm just absorbing. And one of the things, I want to tell you, thank you for being, you're a lot younger than I am. And what you just went through proves that our younger generation is paying attention. They're not just playing games. They're actually immersing themselves into our future. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of people, disrespect them by thinking they're just playing games. You've taken playing games to a whole nother level.
Okay.
Looks like we have a question. Let's grab that real quick from John on Facebook. See if that comes
I've
up.
got
If
this.
not,
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up gaming though, because iGaming
yeah,
is going to be huge in Web3. Huge. Basically,
yeah.
what it means is you can play video games and earn crypto. It's called play to earn.
And so and that's in the metaverse, right? You're in this and
Not
behind you,
necessarily.
right?
So this is Decentraland behind me. Yes,
Right.
I own digital real estate. I just got back from Superman where I was speaking about the ways to profit off of digital real estate in the
Mhm.
metaverse. So I'm in Decentraland, Somnium Space, Realm, Superworld. There's a lot of different metaverses out there. Not a lot actually, but some of the key ones I just named. And there's ways to actually invest in that. Digital real estate comes in the form of an NFT. I know we'll get back to NFTs in a moment,
Right.
but it's just like the real world. You can do advertising on your land. You can do e-commerce, your commerce on your land. You can sell things, or you can rent it out. So pretty much the same as anything you would do in the real world. The
Mhm.
key thing is that with blockchain technology, it's really called it's distributed ledger technology is what it really is, the technical term. But blockchain technology, you can actually own things. So Web 1 is read only, Web 2 is read and write, like social media, and Web 3 is read, write, and own. So you actually get to be an owner in
Mhm.
what you're contributing to. And that's what makes Web 3.0 so special.
So let's get into some definitions because
Okay. Sorry.
you just said a lot of words there.
Okay.
And for our audience, I just want to know this is Cassius Cuvée. He is a finance investor, teacher. And again, I wanted to go back to that education. One
Yes.
of the things you're doing, and I know, Melissa Lee and all those guys really give you those big kudos for being an educator. And I think that's first and foremost
Mhm.
what I admire about you. And so keep that up. But let's talk about just some simple definitions.
Okay.
We mentioned blockchain, but let's just start with crypto and Bitcoin because I think a lot of us just think Bitcoin. It's a coin, it has value. I have it on my phone somewhere in a wallet, and I can buy things with it. I think I don't actually know how to get cash from it. So walk us through the
So we'll
crypto
start
wallet.
just to kind of give a frame of reference, right? We can think of cryptocurrencies like any other asset, like a stock, for example, right? So you can buy a stock and you usually keep it on your brokerage account. It can go up, it can go down, and we hope long term it goes up. And there's different arguments for why that may happen because it depends on how good the company is. But in reality, we know that inflation is a real thing, and right
Mhm.
with governments printing more dollars, which are meant to be spent, assets get inflated. And we know that he's printed $7 trillion United States, something like $21 trillion globally. So all assets got inflated, not just stocks, not just cryptos, but sneakers, comic books, NFTs, and everything, right? So basically think of a Bitcoin just like you would a stock, just for the purposes of if you were going to buy an asset and hold it for long-term value increase. Okay. Now, the thing about crypto is that it's also a technology. It's not just a stock. So
Mhm.
Bitcoin has a blockchain. Ethereum has its own blockchain as well. Then there's other blockchains like Algorand, Solana. There's many others, but what we call a layer one blockchain is its own coin. Then you have tokens that are on that coin. So, for example, Ethereum, a lot of people know what Ethereum is. It's a layer one blockchain that's very popular for having dApps, which is decentralized applications that run on it, like Decentraland, the game behind me, right? This is a metaverse. And you can, the Mana token, MANA, is a token on Ethereum blockchain. So you can invest in Ethereum or you can invest in Mana. But you have to have a use case for your cryptocurrency. That's why there's out there. And in this case, the Mana is the token, which is the currency of the game Decentraland. It's the oldest metaverse out there. It's like the OG, I should say, of blockchain metaverses. And so when things are bought and sold in Decentraland, they use that token as the value, as the currency. Okay.
I wanted to stop you really quick. I love the phrase use case, because that was going to be a question I was going to ask you later. Anytime you invest or do anything, you got to have a reason behind why you're doing it. What's the use case of me doing that? And so I want you to keep on going, but kind of come back to that. How does an investor, and you said earlier, there's a difference between an investor and a trader.
Correct. Yes. And that's a great point as well. So in like the stock market, you'd go look for company earnings and things like that. Cause I remember when I was doing the crypto, I was like, well, what the hell is this? There's no company earnings or anything. Like what is the purpose of this? And use case is pretty much the thing that gives it value, why it will be adopted, right? Because adoption, just like a stock, when people buy it, it goes up. Same idea with crypto. It's just a lot more volatile, mostly because of the size of its market cap. So if you have a low market cap, it doesn't take as much money to fluctuate it up or down, right? And that's true for stocks as well. That's why people trade penny stocks and things like that. But as an investor, not everyone has to be a trader. Let me tell you something, guys. It's a different life to be a trader. You're like obsessed all the time, especially with cryptos 24/7. But even the stock market, like you're like on pins and needles. It's like I wouldn't have time to be an artist. I did that like all 2020. I learned a ton trading with people who've been doing it for 20, 25 years. Folks I met on Twitter. You wouldn't believe the people I learned so much from my friends on Twitter, but that's not the life for me. I'm an entertainer, but I got to have some fun with it. And so you can be a long-term investor, which is what I'm more doing now with crypto and Web3, because I can see the future of where the technology is moving. Now, I want to say this for sure to make it clear. A lot of people think crypto is for millennials or whatever. The smartest tech minds in the world are working on crypto. That's cryptography, right? MIT and Stanford University. And then also some of the biggest VCs as venture capitalists are putting billions of dollars into developing blockchains. So Algorand's got $250 million added to it. So this is not just millennials playing internet money games. These are some of the smartest and richest people in the world involved in this. So that is kind of the reason why I believe in the fact that Web3 in general is going to go up long term. So I can invest in it a little bit, however you want to do. It's called dollar cost averaging, DCA, meaning like say you get paid a paycheck, you might want to put in $100 a month or $500 a month. You can do that over time. And then over time, as things go up, you'll be a long-term investor.
Right. And, in the military, you bring that dollar cost averaging up. That's really what we're taught, so a lot of, financial advisors that live around the bases with their offices are really trying to pull military into that. And so I think for one reason, that's why so many young military service members are into crypto. And I'm just going to jump into that real quick. I did a poll of my military community, and I asked 3 questions. 1, do you own any kind of cryptocurrency? Number 2, would you want to be paid in the military in crypto? And 3, would you invest your crypto into your what we call a thrift savings plan, which is kind of the 401k for military? So I asked those 3 questions, and across the board, 30% said yes to all 3. I want to be paid in it, and I'm willing to invest in my thrift savings plan or my 401k. Now, when I told you those numbers a couple weeks ago, you were pretty shocked at how high it was.
Well, that's a big, 1/3 of the population in the world is not invested in crypto, right?
That's what you said.
It's like 6% of the whole entire world is like even has anything to do with crypto. So that's a big percentage. So they're pretty well informed.
Yeah. And those, when I went back and looked at the data, it was 18-year-olds up to about 28. So it was a young generation of I won't say kid. I guess I can say kids. I'm old. So, that were interested in crypto and actually own it. So, can you speak to why that might be the
Yes.
case? Like,
So,
why all of a sudden are this young generation into this, especially maybe military?
so in investing, time horizon matters, right? And if you believe in something long term, like I do Web 3.0, right? Like if you
Mhm.
invested in the internet stocks in the 90s, sure, they had a dot-com bubble and everything like that. But like, I definitely wish I had gotten to Amazon on day one. You know what I mean? So if
Right.
you believe that technology moves forwards as I do and not backwards, you're less worried about the volatility than someone who's just going into retirement, perhaps. So time
Mhm.
horizon is very important. And that's probably why a lot of younger folks who feel like they have more time, you'll get a greater return over time by investing in something like crypto. Now, that being said, there's a lot of volatility. That also being said, I want to make it clear that there's multiple ways to invest in cryptocurrency, or I should say in Web3, other than just buying and holding a cryptocurrency. And that brings you to NFTs, it brings you to digital real estate, crypto
Mhm.
domain names. We'll talk a little bit about briefly about decentralized social media, where you will get your own social token. It's a blockchain called DeSo, where I can invest in you. If you're very interesting to me, I can not only support you, I can give tips and stuff, but I can invest in you. And so as your currency goes up, me as an investor, I can go up. There's
So I want to say I actually own a couple of NFT domains. So, I mean, hey, you caught me on fire. I mean, after I met you, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this, do that." So we have a question, which is a good one. What
there's
are
a good
some of
one.
the
Yeah.
pitfalls of investing? So I wanna rephrase that.
Okay.
What's best practices
Okay.
and the pitfalls? Because I think you can always have a pitfall with anything, and it doesn't make it a bad thing.
But this is, I'm going to speak to it generally first, right? The difference between an NFT and say a cryptocurrency or a stock is
Mhm.
that it's more like a trading card where there's not a market, not an exchange, right? It's a liquid asset, illiquid, meaning that there's not like a pool of money that I could, if I want to sell my cryptocurrency, I just push sell and it's gone. For NFT, you have to have a buyer. So,
Mhm.
it's just like I said, a trading card, a pair of sneakers, a comic book, or whatever. Sure, there may be a lot of people looking to buy it, but it's not like a stock where, if you're trading the QQQ, which is the NASDAQ, you know, there's millions of dollars just sitting there. So you're going to find someone to match your buy with your sell, what they call an order book. And, there's a tiny spread, maybe it's 1 penny. Whereas an
Mhm.
NFT, if I want to sell my, Michael Jordan rookie card, I'm sure there's people out there, but, they'll place bids, that,
Mhm.
it's not just like I just push one button, it's gone. So that's kind of the main difference between like an NFT and a cryptocurrency, right? In general. Now, there are a lot of NFT projects out there, and no one person knows them all. But the 5 factors that we always go over when we're going to be investing in any cryptocurrency, right at the top, the number one thing is the team. So for NFT projects, you want to know who the team is. You want to make sure that they've been doxxed, which means that we know who they are. That's my rule
Right.
of thumb off the top. I want to know who's in charge of this project. I want to make sure they're not some sort of scam artist. You can look at their LinkedIn. And that's true for any new startup cryptocurrencies as well. Team, you want to know their use case. And a lot of people at first, when they started out with NFTs, just a cool JPEG. Again, it's just like a trading card. So it was
Right.
fun. But now people are realizing it's not really enough. We want to know what the use case is. And so utility is the new thing that everybody's kind of getting involved with NFTs, because with NFTs, you can treat it like it's like a coupon or a gatekeeper. You own something that gives you access to a club or some sort of event or action. They're getting real creative nowadays, right? With music
Right.
NFTs and lots of other things. So you want your NFT to have a purpose besides than other than just because you think it looks cool. That's
Right.
one of the ways that it's going to hold that long lasting value, because someone else could come want, they might want that utility in the future.
Right. No, we have another question. I'm going to get to it in a second. But what's that you brought up a baseball card? Why can't I just hold on to the baseball card? Why would I turn it into an NFT? Like, and then if I do I destroy the baseball card?
Well, I don't know. There's NFT. Well, okay. So first of
Is there
all,
a protocol?
a baseball card, you didn't make it, right? So that came from somewhere else. And this is
Through
one
that.
of the key things about blockchain technology. Again, it's distributed ledger technology. Everything on the blockchain is immutable and it's tracked forever. It's a ledger, distributed ledger.
Mhm.
So we know the source that it came from. It can't be forged. So that's one of the reasons why NFTs are so valuable. So if I mint an NFT, and I see your question, how do you create an NFT? Because I've got a video on that. I'm going to show you how to do it with no money. But you know that it came from that artist. You know who was the person who minted it. You can always check the history. So that's why the value can be retained over time. And there's many other things regarding royalties, and we'll get into that later. But your baseball card analogy is not exactly aligned, because unless you were the one who created that baseball card, you wouldn't want to burn it. Now, there are some interesting NFT projects out there from artists who are really creative, who have done digital art mixed with their regular art, and they'll give you like an option. If you want to buy the paper art, then you will burn the NFT. But if you want to buy the NFT, we'll burn this one. So that way it remains its true value of a one of one. There's a little more complex, but the digital art will basically last forever because it's tracked on the blockchain. We always know who it came from. It came from that artist. It's not forged.
Got it. Got it. And weren't you the first to mint a song?
An NFT music video. Yes, the first NFT music video actually minted SPAC Dream. I also minted a documentary of the 2021 Bitcoin conference that I can't believe no one else did this. But I'm actually, whoever buys it, it's a one of one. I'm going to give them my Bitcoin pendant. I'm going to hand deliver it to them. I'm going to donate half the money to charity. So you'll find a lot of people in DeFi are always surrounding something around charity at charitable events. DeFi is for decentralized finance, is what that stands for.
All right, and you brought a good, innovation. You're an innovator, and Sergeant Vets there, who asked that question, how do I create an NFT? Is I think the first thing is you just go out there and you start, and we're going to tell everybody where to find your information.
Right. So this is a great question, because there's many types of NFT projects and they get really complex. But if you just want to try it out for free, because Ethereum has a thing called gas fees because it's proof of work. Polygon is a layer 2 protocol that has basically no fees. So on OpenSea, you can go on, you can actually mint something on Polygon for free, mint an NFT, anything you want. I have a video on my YouTube channel, Cassius Cuvée. If you scroll through there, you'll find it says how to mint an NFT for free on Polygon on OpenSea. But it will also give you the steps on how to create a MetaMask wallet. So I gave all the steps how to create a MetaMask wallet, how you sign up for OpenSea, how you mint something on Polygon for free, and then how you list it for sale. And then I have another video, and this is the one that nobody knows how to do, or not. I searched the internet for hours, and I made this video because I couldn't find anybody. How do you show someone how to buy it on Polygon? Because Polygon's a different blockchain than Ethereum, and a lot of people don't have wrapped Ethereum in their Polygon wallet. So I have a video on how to do that as well. So you can tell your followers, your buyers, how they can purchase it from you.
And I will just say, and I said this earlier, to you, Sergeant Vets, I watched those two videos, and I don't know how long they were, 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
Oh, even less than that. I think it's like 5 or 6 minutes. Yeah.
I had to rewind once, I think, but I did it. I did it in one night. I did the MetaMask, right? And then I minted an NFT for free. It didn't cost me anything. Now, I will say I got to a point where I'm like, okay, now what do I do? So now I need to go probably find another video of yours to watch. So, but I just think, this is such an interesting environment. And I want to go back quickly before we end to our military community. Because I want to make sure, first of all, we're not here giving you finance advice. I mean, Cassius can give you advice, and you can contact him after the show.
Not financial advice; it would be education. So yes, I do consulting. If you had a project or something, I can consult you through it easily.
Yeah, absolutely. And and he's good at it. I mean, you've done this. You're immersed in it. You just got back from Vegas and LA, and you're a speaker. You went to the Super Mint conference, and you're well respected among your peers. So for our military community, we do have a lot of discretionary income, meaning that when you're younger, you're getting your first paycheck, and you're probably being told by old school, oh, get a CD, or do some safe investment. And then you have the other end of it. You've got someone retiring who is going to be getting their pension, right? Their retirement. And most likely they're going to be getting another job. So they're going to be collecting, kind of a double paycheck for a while. Let's end this with what can you guide those two categories in if they're like, I want to get into crypto either young and make it long-term, or I'm 30, 45 years old. I'm retiring from the military. I've got a second career coming up. What do I do?
What's beautiful about this is probably the same answer for both. And there's a lot of ways to invest in crypto. Like I said, play with NFTs, there's play to earn video games, all that kind of stuff. But one thing I didn't bring up is what we call staking, or you're basically putting your money somewhere and earning a high interest on it. When I say high, I mean significantly higher than the banks. So, because this is true for anybody, you can be young or old, it's kind of crypto. The reason why I like crypto so much, one of the reasons the actual, investing in the currencies is because it's like having a growth stock and a dividend stock at the same time. You can
Mm,
put your Bitcoin up and earn 6% on Celsius. Celsius is a website that you can stake crypto and you earn it. You're basically lending it out, part of a lending pool. Ethereum is earning like 5.5%. Polygon's earning 9%. Matic, that's Polygon Matic. Polkadot's earning 9%. There's a lot of high yield that you can earn just by
mhm.
parking your money there. So for young or old, crypto is very volatile, more than the stock market. It goes up and down, but I kind of sleep pretty well at night knowing that I'm going to be holding long term. And in the meantime, I'm earning a juicy 9-10%. And some things go up a lot higher than that.
Mhm, mhm. I agree with you. I mean, I think it's exciting. I think it's, I don't want to say, it's probably kind of a win-win. I wanted to bring up Warren Buffett. I can't remember. Is he a crypto fan?
Not
Um,
exactly, no.
not exactly. But the reason I thought of him was like, long-term investments.
Yeah.
That's his philosophy. And I think it plays right into this. And from you just explaining this tonight, I feel really confident that I could get into this. And I know if you're new to crypto and NFTs, it's probably sounded very like a lot of words, but I have a feeling once they talk to you and get in contact with you that they're going to be like, oh, I
Yeah,
understand.
I can break it down, and there's other things too. It's not just teaching you. Like, say you want to
Mhm.
set up a Coinbase account or set up a wallet, I will walk you through every step.
Yep.
Security is very important. I'll show you how to secure your seed phrase. The main one of the cruxes of decentralized finance is you are your own bank. Your wallet is your own bank. There's no where's my password. There's no getting your money back. You have to be responsible, and I would assume a lot of
Mhm.
folks in the military are very responsible. So maybe this is
Yep.
right up their alley. You have to be responsible as opposed to a bank who are squeezing us and squeezing us, not paying us any interest ever. With DeFi, you have the responsibility, but you keep the rewards.
Right. Another thing in military, we adapt and overcome. And I think crypto is just like that. Sometimes you have to adapt, you have to be flexible, don't fall in love with a plan and move forward. And one thing we'll end on is coaching and mentoring. That's what we seek out and that's what you're offering is you're a mentor and you're a coach and you're going to give good feedback. I expect you as my consultant like, hey, I don't think you should do that. Oh, so yeah, let's
Casino.
answer this.
And the
Yeah, let's
system, well, briefly,
right.
I know you're trying to wrap it up here, but yes, Decentraland does have casinos. Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes when I do watch CNBC, it's like, this is just a big, gambling game here. But talk to casinos, talk to that gambling versus investing and trading. What is the difference? I mean, sometimes,
Options is gambling.
mhm,
Leverage is gambling. Don't trade on leverage if you don't know what you're doing. Don't trade options if you don't know about complex option spreads or anything
mhm.
like that. Trust me on this. That's the deep end of the pool. We can get there. If you want consulting on that, I can help you, no problem. But I'm just saying baby steps on that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Hey, let's wrap up. Man, this has been amazing. It's, an honor for me to have you on here. Like I said, you're
Thank you.
not my typical military guest, but you have risen to the occasion and you have given us a new perspective and an appreciation of what the metaverse is and crypto and NFT. And I know that we just kind of dipped our toe in it.
Yeah.
Cassius, how do people find you? How do they connect with you, not only for your entertainment, but to get you to be a consultant and help and ask you questions.
For starters, I'm on Parade Deck. So there's a
Hey,
profile there you guys can check out and links to all of my other socials. My TikTok page is called Poppin Crypto. Everything else, I'm just at Cassius Cuvée, Cassiuscuvee. But I think you should definitely tap into my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is also just Cassius Cuvée. My show is called Poppin Crypto, where I bring on the founders and CEOs of Web3 projects and then spit a custom song for them. But there's also a lot of videos like how to do something, how to set up your
mhm.
wallet, how to buy land in Decentraland the right way. Like I have some very detailed, like nuanced things that can give you the edge also.
Awesome. Yeah. So I will just back up. You can find all of his videos on paradedeck.com. We have them all listed out. You can check that out. You can connect with him. I'd highly recommend reaching out to him with your questions. So, Cassius, again, thank you for sharing your knowledge. Keep up the good work. I'm looking forward to your new music and keep on educating because that's the only way that we're going to go forward and being productive and innovative. So thank you so much. And I want to thank our audience for tuning in tonight to the Parade Deck. We're here every day, every week, coming out with some new original content. So follow us, follow Cassius, find where he's at. But thank you so much for being on the Parade Deck where everything important takes place. Have a great evening.